I am Dr. Charles Apoki. I've had two experiences in life that reminds me of the experience with David. The experience of David with Saul. David had been doing musical electroconvulsive therapy. Don't look for it in the dictionary. You can only see it in my book. Musical electroconvulsive therapy. When people have mental issues and they are aggressive, particularly in schizophrenia, when they come to the hospital, sometimes electrodes are connected to them and then they are given a jolt of electricity that resets the brain. Some of them will convulse and then they go flaccid, some can defecate or urinate on their bodies. That system of therapy was designed by a French doctor. Now, Saul had mental issues. Demons were troubling him. And so David was called to play music for him. And when the music was played, when David played music, the demons left him and Saul returned to his original state. That's why I called it musical electroconvulsive therapy. And David was anointed as king secretly by Samuel, but the world had not known. Only his family knew. He was taken from the bush, called from the bush, ignored, taken for granted, and was anointed king without Saul's knowing. And David's father sent him to take food to his brethren, to take supplies to his brethren in the battlefield. So you can be an anointed, you can be an instrument in the hand of God and still be a servant and still be a messenger and still be taken for granted and still just be ordinary and mediocre. Somebody say, I am coming. Somebody say, wait for me. And then the father said, take these supplies to your brothers and bring back a report from them that you got to the battlefield. That means the father, some of those stories of David fighting with lion and bear, came back with injuries on his body or whatever. What happened? So I fought with lion, I fought with bear, I took the lamb from the mouth. This boy, I don't know if that oil that was poured on your head is making you go crazy. People will doubt you, doubt your testimonies, doubt your exploits, particularly people very close to you. People in the same church with you, people from your families, people from your locality, people from your tribe, people from your denomination, they will doubt you, take you for granted. And I will tell you another set of people that will take you for granted as I go along. And he said, go and make sure you come back with an evidence. David got there, went with the supplies, and he saw his brothers. They were quivering from Goliath that would come and challenge them. They were quivering. And David said, what will be given to the man who will kill this uncircumcised Philistine? Inasmuch as he was anointed, he knew that the worker was worthy of his wage, just like Jephthah. Don't live a life of the helpless people in Marco Chipola's quadrangle, those who were ready to give to society without benefiting anything. David said, what will be given to the man who can destroy this man insulting the God of Israel, even though he was anointed? Jephthah said, if I go to war and defeat our enemies, will you make me your leader and your captain? Be specific, be detailed, sign an agreement, arrive at a conclusion. If not, this world, they will just mess you up and use you and throw you like trash. They will trash you. They will use you like a piece of tissue. So David got there, and the brothers heard him saying, he said that you are described as being wicked, being conceited. Who did you leave the few sheep? They want to bring you down, want to castigate you, want to remind you of your past, your inadequacy, Dr. Apoki has not been to Bible school. My Sunday school teacher, my pastor that I taught in Sunday school told me that I was not called until the day Bishop Edwardson gave me the opportunity to preach, and things happened and his mouth shut up. That day Bishop was not around. His mouth shut up. He saw. And so there is this potential in you. There's this deposit in you. There's this anointing in you. There's this future. People will take it for granted. That is proud, is conceited. When you say some things, they say you're proud, say you're wicked, Somebody once described me that he's late now, that he dreamt and God was pointing to me that I was a bad man. See bad man, see better person. So, onukuru job ekuma. The mouth that says bad thing about you will say good about you. So David left down and he said, can't I even speak? Can't I even speak? Those who have failed in life, your elders, people older than you, people before you in their ministry, in whatever they've been doing, in the system where you are operating, who have failed before, they will give you names. Somebody said Dr. Apoki is a mystic. That which Bible school did they attend? The same Bible will read. When he reads it, they will interpret it differently. They say, I'm teaching principles. They said all kinds of things. Those who fought against Jesus Christ were the elders of the church, of the system. And then the Sadducees and Pharisees, and then the political leaders. So you see, when you are the new kid in town, you remember Hotel California, when you are the new kid in town, there are people who will want to fight against you. I've said this in my previous video. That Dr. Apoki is not a real medical doctor. Dr. Apoki is this. Even on social media, you will see failures, inconsequential people who are employed by other people to troll me, say nonsense and all that. They say all kinds of things. But me, I know the game. So David said, can't I even talk? Please don't let failures, don't let people who are mediocre, don't let people who have not maximized their lives shut you up. Open your mouth and speak. And David said, can't I even talk? He went to another person. When you leave those lousy people who are failures, who are critical, who are toxic, who are narcissistic, leave them. Go to another person, talk to the person. Then the message got to the ears of Saul. Keep talking. Keep speaking. It will get to the ears of somebody. When I started, people were critical. Today, anywhere I go to, the reception I got in the Delta State University of Technology, Ozoro, was awesome. There's a state I'm going to speak, as I told you in previous videos. When the governor heard I was coming, he says he would like to be there. And all the convoy is like that. Just keep going. It is in you, it will come out. Say it. It is in me, it will come out. And they will be shocked. They will be surprised. Say it. God does not need their permission for me to come out. I'm coming out. And so David was taken to Saul. Saul now dressed him in his armor. First of all, discouraged him. Every person that has failed, that has run away from a challenge, will tell you what is wrong with you that will make you not be able to do what you are supposed to do, take up the challenge, even if God is with you. See, they see themselves like grasshoppers in the eyes of their enemies. So Saul, even though he was a very huge man too, even though he was anointed, he was afraid. Any man could have killed Goliath. With the insight that David knew that he was uncircumcised, and for insulting the God of Israel, a judgment was upon him, a death sentence. And so Saul wore him his armor, and then David told him, I don't want to wear this. I go with my own identity, originality, capacity, endowment, endowment. I dare to walk alone. So he picked 5 stones, and put them and used his sling. And as he was advancing towards Goliath, Saul said, whose son is that boy? So all the while that Saul was receiving musical electroconvulsive therapy from David, he never bothered to know about him, his origin, his address anything about him. It just saw him as tissue, disposable. It was after he killed Goliath and carried the head, and women started singing about him. Remember, the father said he should come back with the testimony, with an evidence. When he returned with the head of Goliath and the sword of Goliath. He said, "This is the evidence I brought. Whoever was troubling my brothers, that kept them away from their families, this is his head. I brought him home." And a song was rendered for David. So David's father became a celebrity. But listen, Saul was asking, whose son is that? You can relate with people. You can relate with people. They don't know anything about you. They don't care about you. You are just a spoke in a wheel. There is a church. There used to be a church. I would go there, preach, did all kinds of stuff. Preach, take risk, preach. After some time, when I saw that they wanted to treat me like trash, when they saw other younger preachers with bizarre manifestations that turned out to be fake, they discarded people like us who teach them what will endure. And in fact, they were treating those younger men with greater honor, gave them gifts of cars and large sums of honorarium. And I don't care. I withdrew myself. Anytime I just see somebody trying to treat me like trash, I withdraw. Even in marriage, if Jerusalem becomes what will make you treat me like trash, I withdraw. That's why I cursed this thing in between my legs. May you never may you never be erect in the presence of another woman, so that no person will treat me like trash and mess up with me. If you want to use money to mess me up, I reject it. I treat you, I dispose of you. So I went to the church, and it's been long I saw her, and I saw him. I went there to see him. He said, "I am angry with you. You just abandoned me. I used to know when you come to town and you don't ask of me this, that. I said, "I'm sorry, man. Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir." The next thing I asked her, "Sir, do you have my phone number?" He said, "Yes, I have your phone number." I was just wondering why he did not call me one day. "Dr. Apoki, long time, I've not seen you. How are you doing? How are you coping with your family?" After all, he knew I was a medical doctor in the same city with him, and I came to a suburban economy. He didn't bother to know. And what I found out was that when I finished preaching, he will not even ask whether I got home. They won't ask you. They don't care. Bimbo Dukoya died going for a program that they had cancelled, died in a plane crash. The pastor of that church did not attend his funeral. That particularly church people. You are disposable. You're like trash. You can give and give and give. You remember our brother that died in a plane crash? After all he did, the next they were celebrating birthday party. They don't care. Politicians don't care. Some of your so-called lovers, when you do once there's separation, you will see the venom, the anger. And men, when they sleep with young girls, you see all these rich men marrying small girls that are running their mouths and behaving as if they are special. Both of you are mutually deceiving yourselves. If that man dies suddenly, you will see children, women struggling for the man's properties. Well, we are seeing some on YouTube recently. They are struggling to sell buildings, claiming to be first son, second son, third son, first wife, second wife. For them, the father was disposable. Disposable. Same thing with women. Some of the men will just die. They will just rush and carry the things the man had, hide this, do that. Same thing with men. You see pastor with his wife all over the place with banners, posters, this. Immediately the wife dies. Some of these general overseers can even marry the wife's best friend. They will start doing as if the other woman never existed. That's the way it is. Disposable. I met somebody recently, and I had sat down with him, discussed with him. He knows me very well. He has heard me speak in several places. somebody asked about me or asked after me, do you know so person, Dr. Apoki? I said, no, I don't know him. So all the while, he has seen me, he has interacted with me, I have spoken with him. I've made a request. He rejected one time. He knows me. Or what will I say? He has seen me, but he does not know me. There are many people, they are seeing you, they don't know you. You are working for them, they don't know you. You are working with them, they don't know you. They don't know you. How? When I mentioned my name, he screamed, "Hey! Ogbana!" That is the powerful man. You know, when I mentioned my name, why did he now recognize me? He cognizes to cognition, not the person. Recognize is a second cognition based on new evidence or activity. Number one, if you don't shock your generation, they will choke you and they will shock you. So I've made impact. Globally, I've made impact. And that's why everything you do, notice that there's no second chance to make a first impression. No second chance to make a first impression. Put your life into it. Make impact. Number two, I have excelled. I don't wait for you to praise me. I have excelled and there's nothing you can do to me. I'm just stating the truth. If you say I'm proud, now you sabi. I have excelled. So excel, make impact, be distinctive. Be distinctive. Then introduce yourself. Introduce yourself. You know, I was in my king's palace and I'm not a chief. I don't need it. I'm Dr. Apoki. That's enough. So I sat at the back with ordinary people. And I came very early. One young boy just came in with white regalia with bead, fan belt around his neck. Then he said he wants to sit down. So I gave him space to pass and sit down. He said no, that he wants to sit on my seat. I told him, you can't sit here. He said, why? I said, I came before you. He said, but I will sit here. I said, you dare not sit here. He said, why? I said, I am Dr. Charles Apoki. He said, Migwasa. I said, Vrendo. Then he went inside and sat down. And I got angry and left the palace. As I went outside, somebody was introduced, the secretary to the king wanted to introduce me to a professor from the United States. He said, Prof, meet Dr. Charles Apoki. He said, look, is there any person that does not know Dr. Apoki? I knew him from the United States. Introduce yourself. In this generation, introduce yourself. Be like blind Bartimaeus. Shout! Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. They want to shut you down. Shout. A short mouth is a short destiny. Shout, make noise. And like as I said in one of my videos, be like Zacchaeus, climb a tree, shake the tree. Whoa! Most Christians are too usual, too much like mortuary attendants. You can never make impact. This generation will despise you. They won't take your God seriously. They won't take your Christianity seriously. They will mess you up. They won't take your businesses seriously. They will treat you like trash. I went to a palace. About 7 kings were there. They were calling me prof. Not a professor, but they were calling me prof. Because from my radio program, I have excelled. I dish out information. I create my own words like financial orgasm, musical, electroconvulsive therapy. I create my own words. I introduce myself. I have the audacity to be myself. I'm a product. I must advertise and market myself. Let your light so shine that men may see. Who lets the light shine? It is me. No man lights a lamp and hides it under the bushel. Don't die with your giftings. Don't die with your anointing. Don't die with your intelligence. Don't die with your giftings and whatever. have a have a seminar, a webinar coming up on the 13th and on the 14th of September. Send the message through WhatsApp to +234 7052136763. I will send you the flyer. Have properties for sale and lots of books for sale. We've been sending them to different countries. We sent to Kigali recently, sent to the US, sent to the UK, sent to different places. If you place an order, Pastor Abraham will send them to your person. They can bring them to you wherever you are. And I will be in Europe in October. I'll be in France, Germany, Romania, and several other countries. I would like to meet you when I come to Europe. God bless you.